From the News Channel 5 Network, this is OpenLine.
Well, good evening, and thanks for joining us here on OpenLine. I'm Chuck Long, going to be with you for the next hour. Looking forward to that as always. Now, tonight on OpenLine, we are asking the expert. And I know as the weather gets warmer and you start thinking about ways that you can improve your home, this is one of the things that people really like to do. Think about your floors, how you can redo them, what you can do to them, how you can make them more cost effective. Well, we're going to be asking the expert tonight in the area of home flooring, and I tell you, we've got just the expert with us tonight, Tim Goodwin with RNS Flooring. Great to have you here, Tim.
I enjoyed being here, Chuck. Thank you.
It's great to have you, and I've got a lot of questions, and our viewers will have a lot of questions as well. And as always, anytime you have a question or comment, just jot that number down, give us a call, 737-7587. That's 737 plus. You can also tweet us at NC5_plus if you don't necessarily want to talk live on air, but we love to hear from you when you call in live. And I tell you, this is the expert. And you know, this time of year is a time because we're kind of through with the cold weather and that kind of thing. People start thinking, oh, those home repairs, those home improvements that I've been thinking about doing, now's the time
to do it. It does kind of pre-wired in our mind in the spring and the fall to start thinking about sprucing the house up. We see a big influx of business between March and May and June, and then again in the fall. I'm not sure it's the weather that does it to us or not, but it's a great time to get the house open and get get the floor spruced up, get maybe some of the carpeted areas out, put down some nice, clean, crisp hardwood flooring, something that's easier to keep up. You don't have to worry about dragging mud in and ruining your carpet and that kind of thing.
Pets, I mean, all kind of things. You don't have to worry about pets soiling the rugs or the carpets and that sort of thing. Much easier to clean up.
A pet has an issue on the floor. Typically, you can get it clean and sanitized without a big hassle. It's just a whole lot easier to care for in general.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, when you think about it too, if you're looking to kind of upgrade the way that your home looks, if you're thinking what's most cost effective, how do I do it? Is it complicated? What are the hardwood floors that I should consider? Should I consider hardwood floors over tile or carpet? We're going to get into that. And again, if you have questions, you're thinking about going dark, light, that kind of thing. Any questions that you have about improving your home through your flooring, we want to answer tonight. So again, 737-7587 is the number to call. I'm going to get right into one of the first questions. And this is a good question. Is it cost effective for home builders and renovators to select wood flooring instead of less costly materials?
Well, it is when you consider reselling a house later on. I mean, typically most real estate agents will tell you that hardwood will sell a house much quicker over comparable that has carpet or some other cheaper type of flooring. It just gives a real nice finishing touch. And honestly, it's just not that much more expensive than carpet or vinyl or other types of flooring that would justify not spending just a few extra dollars and upgrading to hardwood flooring.
And hardwood flooring, there's just such a classiness to it. It just really brings a room together.
It's timeless. I mean, we actually go into homes that are 100, 120 years old. Some of the first homes that were built in this area and resurfaced the same type of hardwood floors that we're still putting in today. Usually when you put a solid hardwood floor in there, it's there when they tear the house down. The finish may wear out in 35 years, but they can be resurfaced and resurfaced and resurfaced. And so it's such a permanent type of floor compared to a carpet where you have to pull out and replace every 7 to 10 years, or ceramic that the color goes out of style and you're jackhammering it up, because it's a lot easier to resurface a true solid hardwood floor than it is to just replace it all.
Sounds good. All right, calls already coming in. We're going to go to the lines right now. Jenny is on the line with us. Jenny, good evening. Do you have a question or comment for Tim this evening?
Yes, I have a question. I live in an older house that's got the original hardwood floors.
Yes,
But they've been painting over the years, and it's got paint specks all over it. And I can't get them up with anything.
Right.
And they're scratched where people scratch the furniture. I wonder if there's anything that can be done besides, I really can't afford to have them refinished right now. Is there anything I can do to improve the look of them?
Well, if you try that product Goof Off, a lot of times will take up latex-based paints without damaging the finishing. I would probably try that first. You can pick that at most any hardware store, and a rag. Just kind of rub it in. But now, if it's oil-based paint, it's probably going to be a little more difficult to get up without doing some sort of resurfacing.
Okay, I've tried everything, and like I said, the house is old, and it's probably been there forever.
Right. Yeah, it may be hard pressed to get it up with, I'm afraid, without doing some sort of resurfacing if the goof off won't work.
Let me ask you one more thing. I've been reading about something called screening.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was it?
Screening.
Oh, screening and coating, and that's designed for floors that are polyurethane-based floors. Most of the time, floors that are probably less than 25 to 30 years old would have been originally installed and had a polyurethane coating on it that you're okay to go in with a buffer. It looks like a window screen. That's where it gets the term, but it's a real high grit abrasive that'll scuff the top surface of the floor, and then it's cleaned real thoroughly, and then a clear coat of finish would be added after that, and that'll get rid of surface scuffs and scratches. But here again, that's usually floors that have been finished in the last 20-25 years. So if your floor is older than that kind of technique won't work on it, I'm afraid.
Okay. So thank you a lot.
You're welcome. Thank you for calling.
Thanks so much, Jenny. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. I tell you, not only we're talking about hardwood floors, but there's also other options too that you guys also specialize in. Laminates.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, the laminates it can be a good option just depending on what you want to do. Typically, they're a little less expensive than hardwoods. They have some different properties than hardwoods do. They don't really scratch very easily. I mean, you can drop a bowling ball on the things. Most of the time, it won't dent it, won't ding it. So from that standpoint, they hold up much better. They're a better cost-effective thing to do than hardwood. But now, of course, it's really more of a photograph of a hardwood flooring or sometimes ceramic tile that's put on a high-density fiber board. That's the reason it's so impact resistant. And they've improved so much over the last 20-25 years that they've been around in this market that they're getting really hard to tell whether it's hardwood or if it's laminate. Sometimes you have to really get down and try to examine it. So from a value standpoint and from the durability standpoint, laminates can be a really good option for folks.
Well, that is good to know. And you were mentioning a little bit earlier about even for resale value, how great it is to have hardwood floors. The other thing I like to always think about is resale value is great, but I also think it's nice to also enjoy it while you're in the home. So, I mean, this is a great time to go ahead and look into it.
You're right. I'm glad you brought that up. I can't tell you the number of folks that call me and say, well, we put our house on the market, and a real estate agent said to get somebody down here and get some wood floors in here if we want to get what we want out of the house. And inevitably, they say, well, we're spending all this money on a home to do this, that, and the other, and gosh, I wish we'd just done it when we moved in. At least we'd have been here all that time. So.
And that way you can enjoy it.
Exactly.
Yeah, really do that. So, also, many species of wood. How do you go about selecting which one is best?
Well, when you're dealing with real wood, the most common ones are oak, actually. From a cost standpoint and the versatility of being able to stain them any color that under the rainbow, really. Oak has been a staple forever. Of course, now there's hickories, there's walnuts, there's birches, maples, and all of them share a portion of the market. Oak is probably used 95% of the time. Walnut is a more expensive option. My understanding is walnut trees are not quite as plentiful. They don't grow quite as wide, and so that's a more expensive wood. But they have a beautiful dark and rich grain on its own that can be resurfaced several times as well. So we see a lot of walnut, but mainly it's oak. We do some maples. Maples don't stain as well as oaks do. They have a tendency, if you want a really light finish on them, maples may be a good option for you. But when you go to staining them dark, they have the tendency for the maple grain to take real ununiformly, and so you end up with splotchy spots on them that's hard to overcome with maple. But from a real light color, maples do real well on that. But from a cost standpoint, usually oak is hard to beat too. Oak is a very dense hardwood, and it's usually a little less expensive than all the other species that are available.
What about design style? Because I know sometimes when you're out there and you're considering, going from carpet or something else to hardwood flooring, and you're thinking about the design of your home. Is this going to go with my design, whether it's modern, or contemporary, whether it's an older home, something like that? How do you advise people about that?
Well, a lot of times I tell them if your furniture is dark, don't do dark wood. Or if your cabinets are dark and you're doing it in the kitchen, you don't want to put dark wood against dark cabinets. So you don't want everything just to kind of not have any definition at all. It's wise to maybe pick out a tone, a red tone or a brown tone that's in that cabinet or in that furniture, and maybe accent it to the lighter or the darker with the flooring to kind of accent that. So I usually tell people that are in older homes that may have 8-foot ceilings, not to get too crazy, putting really dark colors on the floor, although they're in style right now and they look beautiful, especially in homes when you have 9, 10, 12, 14-foot, even higher ceilings.
Right.
We have that volume, you can get by with doing a really dark floor. But if you're in a ranch style house that might have been built in the 60s through the 80s, it may be wise to stick with colors that are medium to medium light, but that don't close your room up too much. Also, lighter colors have a tendency not to show every little speck of dust or hair that drops on it. Darker colors a lot of times will really accentuate, the dust that settles, or if you got a pet that has light colored hair and they shed a little bit. My wife reminds me on a pretty regular basis. I talked to her into doing a dark colored floor in our new home we built back in 07, and we have a little Chihuahua dog that he has white hair, and of course she reminds me every day that it's my fault that I talked her into doing a dark color, so I try to advise my customers about that in advance. So
yeah, that's good to know. Great things to think about. It looks like snow's all over the
it does.
floor.
Yep, exactly right.
I'm sure I don't have to tell you that.
Yep.
All right. Once again, we are talking about remodeling. We're talking about new floors that you can put in your home to really add a whole new look, a whole new feel. What's cost effective? What's going to work for your home? If you have any questions, just jot our number down. Give us a call, 737-7587 here on OpenLine. We are going to take a short break right now, but we'll be back to talk more about how to improve your home through flooring right after this.